Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your dad's favorite podcast, the Bayou 22. It is me, Nick, the Cosmic Cowboy. We have Nate, the Infinite Repeat. And we have Cole, of course, the Shoogy Shoe. You won't forget that name anytime ever. How are you guys? How is your day? How's your night? Your evening? How's your year? The year just started. So much to talk about.
It could have been better, but chugging along so far. It's only 3 months.
It's like 10 p.m. and my eyes are like glued together.
We are all just upcoming YouTubers. You know, we all do different types of content, though. I, of course, if you guys know me, I do a bunch of Lego videos, which I'm trying to stem away from, but I just can't help but playing with my toys. It's pretty fun. What do you do, Nate?
Mostly I do movie reviews. Occasionally I'll talk about video games, but for the most part I'll just talk about movies and TV shows. Yeah.
You're big into horror, right?
Yeah, originally I was gonna do like a purely like horror movie review channel, but then I thought I'd get bored with that. So then I just switched to all movies.
Yeah, no, I get that. Because it's kind of like when I think of my channel, it's like, oh, it's my channel. I could kind of go with direction I want to at any point. Like, I'm not being tied down like a job, you know? It's like I have full creative control. It's kind of different. Sometimes I keep forgetting that, and I'm like, oh, I'm not always stuck with this Lego thing, but I do love it. Now, what about you, Shoogy Shoe?
I struggle. I think my content's pretty similar to Nate's. I think I talk about movies. I also talk about cartoons a lot. I got like theme song rankings of cartoons, very childish things, and I have one music related video. So if you ever find that, don't watch it.
Oh, is that your Green Day?
Yep, Green Day is like my third video, and it's the most random thing I could have done. But it's still up there. It's still going.
Now, okay, I watched a lot of your videos when we first met, like maybe a few weeks ago to like a month ago or months. You pull these references and you put them in your videos all the time. I'm just so like, how do you think of these like memes to post in your video? Both, it actually goes for you, Nate. You do that too.
I was gonna ask.
It's so random.
I was gonna ask Cole that too, because honestly, I was like, "Yo, these are funny and quick." Like, like I don't know.
Yes, I'm like they're the most what's it called? Obscure show reference too. And I'm like, how do you remember this scene? Or
I appreciate that. Okay, so I think my only gift in life is knowing useless cartoon knowledge. And like I was like a 5-year-old like obsessing over like the info button on cable TV to just see like when did this episode premiere. And if it was like I was born in 2002, so it's like holy crap, 1999, like this was 3 years before I was born. And I could tell you so many things that will bore you to death, but for some reason I just know it. I'm even making a project right now about the history of Cartoon Network. So
yeah,
I just the only way I can like describe it is just I've seen it so much, and I'm not an adult yet. I just keep watching childish things, so they're just so fresh in my mind.
And you know what to reference every time.
Yeah, I get kind of lucky sometimes, because sometimes I just like I want to vibe. I say a typical one that I will go to is like the show Chowder, and so I just know the kind of vibe I want from it, so I'll try to find something in that vein, and I'm glad that other people like it. Sometimes I'm like, am I doing too much with these? But I'm glad it's...
No. It's just like when you pull one out, I'm always like, I've never seen this like brought up since like my childhood, like 10 years ago or 20 years ago. It just amazes me. I watched your cartoon intros recently, like your favorite cartoon intros, and you pulled up some like obscure shows. There was this like Tommy Yumi. There's like these two girls who are rock stars.
I watched that show.
You watched that show, and I was like that amazed me the most. I was like, I can't believe that like this is a forgotten memory, but like no one has even heard of this show before. Like no one that I've known. Is there any show that you feel like is like just criminally underrated that you were like, you know what? I don't know if I can make a video on this yet, but it definitely is like a hallmark of my childhood.
That's a good question, actually. I would say it's not like a hallmark of my childhood, just because I found it when I was like a sophomore in high school, but it's a show called Duckman from the 90s. And I don't know if either of you have even heard of it. It got a full 4-season run. Like, it was like, didn't get canceled abruptly or anything, but it just kind of came and went. You guys know in Seinfeld, like that short bald guy with the glasses, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, never watched Seinfeld.
Yeah, I never watched it either. But I just I think it's like Joe George Costanza, I think is the character's name.
Yes.
And he voices him. It's like the first adult cartoon before like Family Guy. I mean, like there was The Simpsons, but like really, really like not appropriate for kids kind of shit.
Have you seen it all or no?
Yeah, I have it all on DVD. I've rewatched it so many times.
Because I know there's this reference in the show where he's like, "Oh, I can't know too much about my future."
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Someone dies. I think. I assume. He's like, "Do I marry her?" And he's like, "Oh, about that." Like, and he's like, "You know what? As long as I know I marry her, it's all fine." Oh, I can't remember. It's like I've seen the clip so many times because I really like the idea of like what it's representing. Just like don't know too much about your future, but it's like really sad. But I assume that's from the show because the duck has glasses.
Yeah,
right?
It honestly, like, I found that show through another YouTuber named Rebel Taxi. He has an amazing video on it, and he described Duckman as like the BoJack Horseman of the 90s. I wouldn't say it's as like in depth and like story arcs as much as like BoJack is, but I mean Duckman, like, his life sucks. I mean, he goes through some stuff.
Criminally
I
underrated?
think it deserves to be up there with like the early seasons of The Simpsons and like Family Guy for like setting the stage of what adult animation is.
What's the title
It's
again?
called Duckman. It's called Duckman Private Dick / Detective. But I mean, if you just search up Duckman, I mean, you're gonna find it. It's based off some like old Dark Horse comics and a whole bunch of stuff. It was on like USA Network, which is kind of random, but
is there any place for people to check it out on if they want to see
I'll be honest, I have no idea. I was struggling like
illegally. No, not illegally. Watch it legally.
Whatever you have to do.
Amazon Prime, if anything.
Yeah. I just got the box set on DVD because I also I gotta buy like just cartoon stuff, merchandise. It's an addiction.
And Nate, you're big into horror movies. One question I'm dying to ask you is like, how do you feel about the horror genre today? Because I feel like it's very oversaturated with few movies that have interesting ideas that are far between. I have a significant other, a girlfriend or a guy friend, whatever you guys want to call it. Yeah, I don't care. and we recently saw the movie Talk to Me.
Okay.
And so we were both like very like, you know what, this had such great interesting ideas, and it was made by a couple of YouTubers.
Yeah.
Wreck, I believe their channel was.
Yeah.
And no, I thought they just brought new stuff to the table, whereas I feel like a lot of movies are kind of just like rinse and repeat now, like all these new Exorcist movies. Do you feel like the genre is going in a healthy direction, or do you think it's...
Well, so I think Talk to Me, that's A24, right? Is that
Yeah.
So, yeah, I watch a lot of their movies, and I feel like their horror movies are kind of transcend just being just scary. Like they're usually... Like, my favorite horror movies, like, talk about a subject or talk about how you are as a person. Like, Talk to Me kind of goes in that, like addiction and peer pressure type of way. And, yeah, definitely a lot of horror movies don't do that. Like, Exorcist, I think Halloween franchise is kind of dead. And, I mean, it depends on the filmmakers. Like, James Wan, he might be going back to horror movies at some point. Like, I feel like he knows how to make a good horror movie.
Did he just direct Aquaman last? Was that his last?
Yeah, Aquaman 2. I remember hearing he might go back to horror, hopefully.
No, because he produced Night Swim, right? That just came out.
I hope not. I heard. I had bad reviews from it. I'm not sure.
I know.
I have not. I haven't seen anything for that. So
I know he produced Night Swim and Megan, which I'm like, I mean, he didn't direct it, but.
And Megan was Shoogy's top film of the year.
Man, such a stupid movie. No enjoyment was made for me.
I forgot that came out, to be honest. Like, I saw that in theaters, and I forget that I see it all the time.
It's got like a 94 on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, you guys kidding me?
Wow.
I heard people really liked it, not for the horror aspect. Before it was like, don't let technology raise your kids.
It's like a TikTok movie, though.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I should see it then. I haven't seen it.
Just wait till she's in Fortnite.
Yeah.
He said what?
Just wait till she's in Fortnite.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It is like a very, I can see that happening.
I know you like the franchise Scream, and you guys were like, hey, you know what? There's some news we wanted to talk about with Neve Campbell returning for the Scream franchise after she was like, yo, I'm not getting paid enough.
Yeah, for the.
Is she yeah? What were you gonna say? I'm so sorry.
Well, she was the. You haven't seen any of the Scream movies, right? Right, Nick.
No, it's Ghostface, right?
Yeah, the Ghostface killer, not the rapper. But yeah, she was Neve Campbell. She was the main Scream queen, the main protagonist, and she left. Was it Scream 5? That was the last movie.
Yeah.
And then, what's her name? Jenna Ortega took over pretty much, and I forget the other actress's name for.
Oh wait, didn't they all leave because someone was wrongfully fired over like tweets or something?
Yeah, there's like a big mess with it that like I can't remember the actual new main girls. I just know Jenna Ortega's name, but like they're sisters, and like the main actual girl, they fired her because she said something about like the war or something. I can't remember. And then Jenna Ortega just like dropped out.
Ceasefire.
Yeah, something like that.
Apparently, Jenna Ortega has dropped out of Scream 7 due to her Wednesday Season 2 shooting schedule, is what Variety posted.
She is like, is it just like saying that? Yeah. It's just like such perfect timing. I don't know. I don't know how you feel about it, Nate, just because I know I just got really attached to this franchise like a year ago, and so I got so into it, and then all this crap happened. I'm like, great. But I'm just kind of indifferent about Neve, I don't even know how to say her name, coming back. Just as like, what more can you do? Like, I feel like she kind of got her send off. We killed one of a main character a few movies ago that I think would make it great, but you can't really bring that character back.
A lot of horror movies, I think, Scream is like one of the, besides like I guess Halloween, there's not many horror franchises that have gone on this long. Like the only other ones were like Friday and Nightmare on Elm Street, and both of those are like dead. And Scream is kind of getting in that range where like they're gonna end up dead at this point. And like none of the movies have been bad in my opinion, but like we're getting 7, and that's not a good that's not a good number. I feel like
how many interesting ways can a guy with a knife slaughter? I only assume.
I mean, the main characters are good, but the villains make a horror movie, and the villains have been getting lackluster in my opinion.
Yeah, the last two definitely, especially the last one. I feel like 6, the first half of that movie is honestly amazing. It does everything I wanted to. Then when the killers get revealed, I'm like, it didn't land.
Yeah. Like the only thing to do is to make Neve Campbell the killer, which that'll be kind of dumb after 7 movies.
Have you heard like the theory of everyone like saying like Stu's in jail, kind of manipulating like a cult or something?
Yeah, I've heard that. So Nick, one of the killers is, the theory is they're not actually dead, and it's so one of the killers was, this is a spoiler for a movie that came out in the 90s, but it's what's his name, Matthew Lillard.
Yeah,
Shaggy.
Yeah,
right. I've wanted to see that one. I heard that one is really good.
So the theory is that he's not dead, but who knows?
He won't be dead for the right amount of money.
Yeah. I mean, he was in what's that horror movie?
Friday night.
Five Nights at Freddy's, guys. Get it right.
If he does that, I don't see why.
I'm sorry. Five Nights at Freddy's, guys. Come on.
But I thought that movie was bad, though.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Was it? I didn't see. I heard people of the game would love it. Shoogy's friend.
My girlfriend. I'm in my girlfriend's room right now recording, and I'm staring at a FNAF poster currently. Like, she adores this franchise, and I didn't hate the movie, but like, it's not. If you don't know the lore, then this movie is stupid and sucks. And I barely knew it, and Matt Pat was in it. I was like, okay, I'm just having a good time right now.
Did he say the line?
He said the freaking line, man. Yeah, he did.
That's funny.
I was
you know
lost during that movie.
That poster on her wall is way better than like a Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber type of poster. Like, I can only assume, right?
It's pretty cool. It's like a light up sign. Right now she's got Lord of the Rings, FNAF, and then the Legend of Zelda poster, and that I'm just gazing my eyes in.
She's a Lord of the Rings fan too.
Yep, she's got it all, man. I got lucky. Even though I've never seen Lord of the Rings, but
I have last summer. I thought it was so boring. So I'm sorry if I'm.
Wow.
I feel like I'm in the top 1% of the fans. I was like, this is a workload.
I don't blame you.
Which one did you watch though? Which one did you watch?
All three.
Did you watch
all three? And I was with my friend who watched it for the first time, and I think it was our energy just together in that room. We're like, dude, this sucks.
Did you watch the director's cut or the theater?
Theater cuts. He said, "Don't watch the director's cut. That's for fan service only."
Hey, then you still thought it was bored. That's crazy.
I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I was playing a lot of games on my phone. That, and I think I was like trying to do my first Lego Batman video on like just editing the audio and stuff. So it didn't have my full attention, but I still was like, "Oh my god, the fellowship of these friends." I was like, just get on with it, man. Just hurry.
I've never attempted. It's like my least. Medieval stuff is so boring to me, and I can't. So I've never attempted. But I watched Harry Potter, which I don't know if that's really medieval. It's not.
No, that's fantasy.
Yeah, but I thought I would hate that too. But I actually liked it, so I don't know.
What about Game of Thrones? Have any of you guys seen that?
Yeah, I have.
I did. I enjoyed that a lot. I got to season 5 though, and then I guess I just listened to more of my friends, and they were like, "Yeah, it's not worth it. It just gets crazy good, and then it gets crazy weird, and then crazy bad."
Oh, you never finished it?
No, but I have seen the last 3 episodes of the finale of how that went, and my friends were really disappointed, and I was like, "Well,
you probably made the right decision, to be honest."
They showed me the big. I hope this isn't spoilers for people watching Game of Thrones. So if this is, cut out the audio for like 10 seconds. Yeah. But the Great War with the Walkers, or whatever they're called, the ice people,
Night Walkers.
Yes, I thought that was a good episode. But then they were like, at the end of the episode, they were all like mad, and I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Nick, all the main characters." Wait, Shoogy, have you seen it?
No, I heard everybody like dies though.
No, that's the thing, is nobody died.
Oh, no one does?
Apparently, like, everyone with the main character name title did not die, and they're like, that's so against how the show works.
Or is it like every season, like the main character will die or something? Or am I thinking of a different
pretty
show?
much. It's pretty much like each season starts like a main character. Like there's a main character that stars every season, and they usually the twist is they die usually. So like the whole point is no one is safe, but then by the end of the show, no one dies. Yeah.
It's not a cartoon, so I have never chosen to watch it.
No, please do. I'm sure your girlfriend would love it, actually.
She might, actually. You know what's funny, Ashley? She is more likely to not watch it because it's not a cartoon than I am. She's good with movies, but like when it comes to shows, it's got to be a cartoon or she ain't watching it.
So I actually have a question though. Like when it comes, speaking of shows, like what's your guys' limit on episodes? Like do you do like one and done, or do you like 3 episodes, and if you're not feeling it, do you quit?
If we're starting it, I think it matters on how like big it is. Like, is it like widely loved? Is it like, oh, worth pushing through? Is it or if it's like a show I'm just giving a chance that like I haven't heard of?
Right.
I think like one or two.
Usually, I guess it depends. Yeah, you're right. It depends how long the show is. My old rule before like streaming services was like 3 episodes, especially if it's like an hour long show. I feel like that's basically a movie. Like that should be enough time to judge a show.
Yeah.
Easily.
I'm kind of like, there have been several shows that kind of hinting towards the future, but I watched the first episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender before, and it didn't stick with me, so I stopped watching it. Even though I know like everybody loves it. And then other shows like Breaking Bad, I watched the first episode and I was like, this is fine. I'm just not ready to commit to like hour-long episodes.
When you gave Avatar the no-go, did you know that like it's like vastly loved by everybody?
Oh, for sure. Like,
And you knew it touched on mature themes, and you still were like, nah, bro.
it's just,
Courage the
just.
Cowardly Dog.
Oh,
rewatch?
yeah.
It's kind of tough.
man.
I feel like it's tougher when it is like well known because you kind of almost like force yourself to like it. It's like I should be liking this, but no.
That's true.
Admittedly, like when I first watched Avatar, really it was just the art style, and I hate that I say that because like that shouldn't really matter, but it just does to me. It just didn't hook me, and I don't know. It took me a long time to even like dare to watch an anime, even though it's like a Western anime or just animated, whatever anybody wants to call it. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna give it my best shot.
There's no animes that you've given a try to, though,
There
right?
is. I've watched fully through The Promised Neverland because I'll admit I was hooked in that show. Every episode, my jaw was on the floor. Yeah, man, I love that show.
Wait, did you love the second season?
It's definitely like the first season is more like anxiety feel, like what's gonna happen, and then once they reach a certain goal that they have for the second season, then like it's not as intense, but
All right, I have a lot to say on The Promised Neverland. I just want to ask Nate. Nate, have you seen The Promised Neverland?
No, I have not.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna give the premise to Nate and to those who may not know. The Promised Neverland stars these orphans, okay, and they're in this orphanage, and there's a big wall like surrounding them, and so like it's just a house and this huge courtyard, and a gate at the end of like this big wall. And so everything in the orphanage is all amazing and it's great. They have a caretaker there who's just the best mom in the universe, and then they uncover a mystery that just like changes, like, oh my god, we got to get the hell out of here for these kids, right? And it like every episode feels like a cat and dog type of like, we have the upper hand, we don't have the upper hand on this situation and how it's going to play out, and it's really well written. And so by the end of the season, like big changes happen, and like things go as they plan, and also things don't go as they plan, and it's really good. And so at the end of the first season, you're kind of left on this cliffhanger of like, okay, what's outside of these walls? And it's so interesting in this, and they built up this like lore of like what's happening in this like universe that they built now. Like, oh my god, we've heard so much about what's outside the walls that we're so interested about like what's to come now that like we have the opportunity to see what's outside the walls. I'm trying to say so much without spoiling.
It's like Attack on Titan.
Okay, yeah. Imagine Attack on Titan, okay? But in the end of the season, okay, so then they have, so it was a manga, okay? And inside the walls was only about like 20% of the entire book. I would say maybe even less. And so after I watched the first season, I was like, I have to know what's outside. I was like, after this is like, it is so interesting. So me and my friend, who is like, he's super into anime and manga, he's like, yeah, you can use my account. We both like watched the show together, like simultaneously, not in the same room. But so we both like read the manga like side by side too. And the story was so interesting. We're like, oh my god, season 2, like they have enough content here to write like this whole like Attack on Titan for years, right? Like Attack on Titan, dude, it's gonna be just like that. It's gonna be like years later when they finally finish it, and it's going to be so good. There was one arc in the arc, I guess Shoogy would call it a season since he's not an anime guy, where like it was like the most like was some of the best writing I've ever like read in a manga. And then they were like, yo, season 2. And what they did for season 2 was basically the rest of the 80% of the manga, they just crunched it into one season. They didn't even mention the arc. They just basically skipped over it like it never happened. And my friend, and I guess the whole internet besides Shoogy Shoo, we were just appalled. We're like, this is the worst thing ever.
Now that you mentioned that, the only thing I know about it is I don't know if you guys watch Moist Critical.
Oh yeah.
Yes, he reviewed it, dude. Like me and him, like I was like, dude, it is such a shame that this beautiful story was just crunched into one season. It was just like, I can't remember what he said, but I can only imagine things were just chopped up in the best. Like it's called the Golden arc. I can't remember, like Goldie Pond arc. Just never happened, and it's like, bro, it's like, how could you just not tell the best story of all time? And then Shoogy's over here like, dude, it was so good. I was like, oh, Shoogy, I wish you read the book. It's a ride. It really is. And I could not, I never gave this second season a chance. I couldn't imagine one episode per like fucking 50 chapters. It's like, okay.
Was it like an expensive show? Like, was it like what's it doing?
No, I doubt it. It was produced by Netflix, right?
Okay.
Or no?
I don't think it was produced by Netflix.
I must say, Netflix cancels stuff all the time, so maybe that was the reason.
It just, Shoogy, I don't know if you're a big reader.
I can't read.
Shoogy. It was so top tier books. The Goldie Pond arc. Maybe when you're 60 and your kids are having kids that are going off to college, and you're like, maybe I kind of want to read this Promised Neverland to hear what happens.
Read them a bedtime story.
I'm telling you. Yes, or just watch a YouTube video. What happens after season 1? Shoogy, you won't get disappointed. There's so much.
You know, it's actually funny.
Maybe they'll remake it one day.
I hope so.
It's funny because my girlfriend actually, when we were watching it together, she had already seen it, but then it made her interested to read the manga. So she got the first book. I don't know how many there were, and I know she read it.
Just bootleg it all online per chapter. Don't even get the bucks.
I'll let her know that.
I'm telling you, online just has every chapter. It was. I'm telling you. Okay, I don't want to spoil anything for Nate here, but what happens with Norman in season 2, I only assume is absolutely massacred to how it happens in the book, because it's like the weight and suspense and like you just forget. You know what I mean? That's all I could say without spoiling too much. It's just the payoff with him is beautiful, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Okay, I will say, even just off of not reading the manga, but like I know what you're referring to, and I actually think I don't know how well it is in the manga, but for me, I was like, I kind of forgot about Norman a little bit. And then when he came back, I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah.
He didn't have his elite firing squad, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, all right. Those guys go in. I don't know if he did anything. I just don't know. I haven't seen the second season, but it's like I can't imagine.
I remember he had like a group.
You know what I'd compare it to? Making Harry Potter the first movie, and then all the other Harry Potter books is crunching it into a second movie. That's what I'd compare it to. It's like, I don't know what made the cut or what didn't. It was so good. Give anime a try, Shoogy.
So the book was done. and they
Yeah, the book was full of
that's
confusion.
really weird.
I know. I was like, wow. It's like, how could you? Oh,
As someone that is a no expert in anime, I cannot recommend enough The Promised Neverland.
yes. Yeah. At least give the first season a try, Nate.
Just never read the manga, and you'll think it's amazing.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Have you seen Death Note at all?
Yeah, I love Death Note.
Okay, same energy with like the dynamic of the two characters.
Okay.
It's like, dang.
I've seen the live action movie.
You haven't seen the
I watched
anime?
the first episode and I was like, the art style is not for me.
Well, to be fair, like when I first read Death Note, I read the first chapter and I was not feeling it, and then it took me a while to go. It took me a while to go back to it.
Dang.
But
I love our different backgrounds. That is so funny. We might have to call this podcast Show Shuki Shoot Anime Podcast. You know?
Let me just describe to Nate why he should watch this one anime when I have no experience. Well, I want to actually jump back really fast and ask you a question, Nick, about your kind of process. Yeah, Cosmic Cowboy. So obviously, I have no idea how you do Lego animation. I know it's stop motion, but that blows my mind that you do it. What's kind of like I'm just curious, what's like the planning process and the execution look like? Like, what's your time frame?
So, okay. How I start it is so I get a lot of my inspiration from music. And like when I hear music, I'm like, I'm telling my friend Alyssa, I'm like, I could just totally see how this scene plays out. And like, okay, so for those who may not know, I recently came out with an animation. It's called It's called The Winter Special. And it deals with like the Joker having a bomb that's about to blow up in the city. And I'm telling you, I visualized the entire scene before I even written it, just listening to the songs. I was like, oh my God, like I can't explain to you how I think of these ideas. They just happen through music, and I repeat the song probably 20 times over because I'm just trying to like imagine this whole scene in my head. And then we go into Google Docs. I start writing it up. Of course, text my friends. I'm like, hey, do you want to voice act in this? And then if not, if there's any like roles that I need like filled that couldn't be filled or just leftover roles, I hit up what is it called? Fiverr or Upwork, where you could just hire freelancers.
So you don't like storyboard or anything?
What is everything that I put in that video? I've already I know it sounds so fucking. What is it called? It's pretentious.
No, it's impressive. It's impressive, man.
It sounds so pretentious, but it's like when I was doing the Flash scene, which Shoogy Shoot you voiced for.
I did.
He's vibrating above the woman that he just saved. It's like I remember when I finished completing that scene and he was vibrating, and I was telling my friend Alyssa, I was like, oh my God, like I just cannot wait. Like no, I'm so sorry. I'm missing what I'm trying to say. I was like, Alyssa, this is what I envisioned in my head when I first like listened to the song. I was like, look at that. It like looks exactly like how I saw it in my head. And I think it just paid off. I was like, just add some lightning bolts in there, which I did myself, and I thought it looked really good. Like, I'd have him, if I could redo it, I'd have him vibrating a little bit faster.
You gotta hit up the Across the Spider-Verse gang, man. Get in the next movie.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't they have like a 10-year-old kid in that movie, or he?
Yes, the 14-year-old kid did the Lego thing. I thought that was super cool. I subscribed to him. Let me see if I can find his channel to give him a shout out. But no, that's kind of the whole process. I found Shoogy Shoot actually through Reddit though, and he posted his Batman review for the Christmas movie.
Merry Little Batman.
Amazon Prime. Merry Little Batman. I was like, oh, this guy has like around the same subs as me. He's like obviously into superheroes. I was like, you know what? I'll subscribe to him. I was like, because I enjoy his content, and I'll ask him. I'll be like, hey, can you you want to voice the Flash for me? I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be great for like both of our channels to just branch out and do like different types of content. And so, that's how I met Shoogy.
You know what's funny is actually the only way I ever got on Reddit was actually because of Nate, because he recommended like posting videos on there, because So really, this is all because of Nate.
Yeah, I mean that's how I got like my Coraline video like so many views because I posted on Reddit and it like blew up. So I was like, oh, this is good.
Did you post it on like a Coraline?
Yeah, I did. I did it on Coraline and Leica Studios, the studio, and I was like, oh shit, this works.
Do you know how many views it got?
I don't even know what it's at. I think it's like right now it's at like 60,000 views. I think.
60,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I stopped checking because like I wish my other videos would go past that because I'm like I made better videos since.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about Other Mother and Coraline, the video essay. Yeah, I love the thumbnail and everything. I think it works so well. With the white glow behind the real mom.
Yeah,
which is good.
So the background that's actually the poster, and I just like played around with that on Canva, and to like with the special effects on Canva.
Oh yeah, okay. My friend uses Canva. Yeah.
And found those two images like high quality, and I just like removed the background, and then put like a border around them. That's probably my favorite thing, making thumbnails.
You have a whole character that you use. We all three do. How did you come up with your character for Infinite Repeat?
I mean, mostly I always like just draw myself, and like, well, mostly like I hate drawing eyes and I hate drawing hair. So like when I draw myself, it's usually a bald guy and glasses. So that's how I always usually draw. So, and I like drawing cartoony characters because if I was gonna draw myself consistently, it would be like cartoony. That's like the easiest way to draw.
Oh, way easier, yeah. Shoogy drew himself as a blue ziggity zoo kind of guy. If you can see. How did you come up with that one?
It's like such a long story, but keep it short and sweet. I used to do like graphic design competitions, and so I like drawing cartoons and stuff. And one day after like a math test, I call my like character Booker. I drew him, and he had like, it's a part of one of my like big projects I made like state for, and that's even how like I met my girlfriend, was through this competition and stuff. And basically just like took him. Originally he didn't have eyes, he didn't have a body, and then I just made his body look like something I would wear. And the funny part is actually I hate the color blue. It's like my least favorite color, and for some reason I just kept him as blue because in my project he has like it's like a play on the word brain freeze. It's supposed to talk about creativity and crap. So I made him blue just to show he's like in a giant brain freeze. And I should have changed it. I regret it every day, but I'm like, it's too late now.
No, it's not too late. It's not, you can still change it.
YouTubers rebrand all the time.
The way he looks. Oh,
yeah, I'm debating. But how'd you come up with yours, Nate?
Me in 5th grade and a bunch of friends used to make these comics that we used to draw. Like we used to have a bunch of paper, fold it together in half, and then staple it. And we used to make comics where we used to have like superpowers and all this stuff. And so, like my art has just evolved since then. Like, in college, and I was just doodling. And I needed something to rock like the Cosmic Cowboy name. And I have a lot of pre-concept of what my character looked like. But ultimately, like one of my favorite superheroes is Robin. And so that's why I also voice him in the my Lego Batman movies, which I think works well because I have a lighter voice, and my friend who plays Batman has more of like this, I guess people have quoted him as being like Ron Swanson. And I was like, all right, I guess. And like a lot deeper, which I think our voices play really well against each other. And
no, I completely agree.
Yeah. So when I was creating my character, like I got rid of the cowboy hat because I was just like, I want like hair like Robin does in the animated Batman show, like Teen Titans or the original when he was Tim Drake. And then I just always loved the mask. But then I needed eyes that really animated well, so it doesn't look too well without like the mask being filled in. So I was like, you know what, I won't fill it in. I'll just doodle around that.
No, I love yours. I love the like layered. I don't even know how to describe it. Like it's almost like a 3D effect.
Oh, the gold behind it. I couldn't decide between a cow print or gold. So I was like, I'll just do both. The picture of my thumbnail, or not my thumbnail, my profile picture, and I guess in my Lego thumbnails, I'm really proud of. And so I feel like I'm not that good of an artist. So I was like, this is the best render of my character I'll ever make. And so I was like, we'll plaster it everywhere. No, I think he looks the best there. So
no, I love both of y'all. I think they're both super cool.
I know. I think it's just cool that we all three have these like little character personas.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Daft Punk, they took my name. They made a song called Infinite Repeat.
Did they really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So every time I look myself up on YouTube and their song always pops up, and I'm like, God damn it, no one's gonna ever find my channel.
Take their song, use it as your intro.
Yeah, right.
Like, no.
I made the name the Shoogy Shoe like 2 years before I started YouTube because it was just like my like video game name, because it's just Shaggy and Scooby combined because I'm very uncreative. And if you look up the Shoogy Shoe on the internet, it's like a 1930s like nursery rhyme or something, and that's like the first thing that'll pop up, and that's like the only existence of this name prior to my channel, and it's such a weird thing. But I think it's funny just looking at, because I texted Nick about this because I was looking up his name, like Cosmic Cowboy, and I found like a early 2000s like French Canadian show called the Cosmic Cowboys, and I am like in love with it right now. I am planning to make a video just talking about this thing.
You're watching
it
right now?
Half of it's on like YouTube, the other half's like lost media. Like the English dub version is completely missing. So I'm just so like curious about it now.
That is so funny. You know what? I might have to check it out too. You did text me about it. It's so
it's
funny.
a weird, it's like cow and chicken and Courage the Cowardly Dog combined. It's very weird.
It's in French? German.
I think the original is in French, and then there are like several dubs, but for English it's like missing half of the English dub episodes.
It says, however, the show is officially available on streaming services such as Amazon Prime and Apple TV+.
I looked it up on Amazon, and unless I was wrong, I don't think the English dub is on it, but I wasn't exactly doing full attention span things.
Is this like an adult show or adult cartoon?
No, it's like a kid show. It's just like that edginess of like a Ren and Stimpy kind of thing.
Ren and Stimpy's crazy. That's wild.
It goes hard. It goes hard.
It goes hard.
But yeah, I'll kind of let y'all discuss this a little bit, and I'll ask y'all some questions. So the new Godzilla and King Kong trailer. What is even the name of this movie? Is it Versus or And?
Debating that, right?
It's Godzilla X Kong, I think.
Are they multiplying?
That's just like a fancy like fighting game thing. Like
yeah.
Godzilla X Kong New Empire, I think.
Do you think it's like okay, for my opinion, I just feel like it's coming off really childish against the Godzilla -1.
That's what you think it is?
This isn't like, I was like, this isn't looking good for that movie.
I like both, like the serious Godzilla and the goofy superhero Godzilla. But I don't know. I like Godzilla versus Kong. I've watched that fight scene like multiple times. I freaking love that movie.
Yeah, no, I've been a fan. I like when they dive more into the monsters. I think the second one was like that. It was what was the second one titled?
King of Monsters.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that, and a lot of people, I guess, didn't like it because I don't know. It was like Millie Bobby Brown was fine, but I feel like she was featured a lot less in the movie than the actual monsters. And I think I was really happy for that. I was like, yeah, give King Ghidorah more.
I have all of those movies on Blu-ray, so like, I love those movies.
Is there any monster that you want to see? I'm so sorry to cut you off, Shoogy.
Oh no, you're good.
Trying to think. I mean, I'm not too familiar with the old. Like, I've just started rewatching or watching for the first time the original Japanese movies, So like I'm just starting to get like used to the original monsters.
Have you ever played the games? Or
No, I used to watch like people play them, but they look super fun.
there's one with a like chainsaw type of thing down the middle
Yeah,
of its
I know who you're talking
sternum,
about.
and it has like a. That's the one I want to see because I feel like it's so crazy.
There's
It's
there's
like
there's one called Destroya, who's he's like a devil looking guy. Yeah, he looks like a
Destroya.
devil like giant monster kaiju. I haven't watched those
Is
movies.
I know Mothra or something.
Yeah,
It's like a big moth. Is that part of these movies?
yeah, he's in King of Monsters.
Dang, maybe I should watch these. I honestly, ever since I saw the trailer for the Rock movie Rampage with that big white gorilla, I was like, these movies just don't seem like they're gonna do it for me. So I've never even given it a chance.
Well, Rampage is a terrible movie, so. Well, I mean, the first, I think they're all on HBO Max or Netflix if they didn't take them off.
Oh, by the way, my monster's called Gigan. If any of you are curious in the audience, Gigan. It looks crazy. I would love to see. I don't know if you guys ever grew up with Ultraman.
Oh, bro, don't
I
even
know
get me
you're talking.
started,
I know
bro.
you're talking about it.
Dude, Netflix is making that new animated adaptation. I would love to see Ultraman and Godzilla. That would be my team
Did
up.
you see the movie they released, Shin Ultraman?
No, 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 I didn't. I didn't even know it came out, and I didn't know they made an animated one until like IGN posted a trailer for it. I was like, oh, what the hell? I was like, this is crazy.
So speaking of Ultraman, do you watch like tokusatsu shows or like Kamen Rider or ah damn.
I know of it, but
Yeah,
no.
that's my shit.
You're really
Ultraman
uncultured,
needs to make a
Nate.
comeback. Me, I know, I am, of course, because yeah. Shame on me, sadly. No, Ultraman is sick, bro. Mm-hmm.
I think if they got the Power Rangers in there, I definitely
Oh
would too.
yeah. No, I'm with you though. I'm with you. I think it'd be cool. Just add them all. Add Japanese Spider-Man, the one that calls.
Oh yeah.
Level.
Yeah.
We'll bring in the Avengers of giant monsters.
I mean, there's
Even got, like-
Pacific Rim, the
even got,
Pacific
like-
Rim movies, like
Oh man, I forgot about those.
Yeah, good. The first one, loved it.
Second one is crap.
it's I haven't seen it in a while, but it's not as good as the first movie. It's more like the first one, or the second one feels more like Transformers than it does Pacific Rim. Like the train.
We are knocking on the apocalypse at our door. We are. I don't know.
We're canceling the apocalypse.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I love Idris Elba.
Speaking of giant monsters, I mean, there's gonna be a giant monster in Mario with Bowser because there's supposed to be a new new Mario movie coming out.
Transition achieved, man.
Yeah, they announced a new Mario movie. How do you guys feel about the Super Mario movie that came out last year?
Loved it. I felt like it was one giant connection. I was like, hell yeah.
It was that movie came out when I first moved to college, and it was the first time I skipped one of my college classes so I could go see the movie at like 2 o'clock on a Thursday. Yeah, and I definitely, it's not great. I still had fun though. I'm in like a movie organization in my school, and we showed the movie on like the first week that everyone was back at the university, and it was like 1,000 people in the auditorium, and when Peaches came on, the entire crowd was singing it. So I think I have more of a fond memory because of that rather than like, here's Chris Pratt.
Dang, I wish I had your experience because I saw it with a bunch of families and their kids, and I wanted to leave the theater.
Did you see like opening night?
I think I saw like the day after, like on the weekend or whatever.
Yeah.
Were the kids
But,
screaming? Is that what
yeah, and well, I was next to this family, and like the dad was also like not I don't want to say encouraging, but he was talking to his son the whole time, for or at least in the first like 30 minutes of the movie. And I was like, please stop talking.
Was he like trying to point out crap to him or something?
Yeah, like he was like, look, it's a switch. And I was like, yes, he can see that.
I you know what movie I loved seeing, it was Sonic the Hedgehog, and the theater was absolutely empty, but of course there was one family behind me, and I remember the two brothers were like fighting like behind me, and one of them drops his drink on my like row, and like some of it spilt on my shirt, but like that to me wasn't the big deal, but it was so funny that like the mom was like, "Oh my god, you just spilled drink on this young man! He's just sitting here alone!" I was like, "Yes, ma'am, thank you." None of my friends wanted to see Sonic, but I was like, "No, hell yeah, I want to see Sonic." It was so funny, and the kids were like, they had their phones on with their flashlights, and they were just trying to look for like the cap, because I think the cap had like a Sonic figure on it for their drink, and he like shined it right in my face. I was like, "Oh god!" It was just. No, I can't be too mad at one, but I hate people that talk in theaters. I went to one last story. I'm so sorry, I'm full of stories.
Not go, man.
But I remember seeing The Batman with the Robert Pattinson, and I loved it so much. I was like, I'm going again in theaters, IMAX. I'll go alone. Fuck it, right? I was like, this is incredible. And I remember there was one big guy who was like handfuls of popcorn every 2 seconds. I was like, bro, I have like ADHD up the ass. I was like, this is riding up my spine. I was like, I cannot pay attention at all.
Yeah, I hate that during like horror movies, because I'm like, I just saw Stopmotion, the stop motion horror movie, and I saw that
really?
there's a bunch of teenagers in there. I was just like, why are you here right now?
You just talked about this on YouTube, right? Your channel.
Yeah.
Which video was it called? Do you remember?
What was it? This one I think it's, I don't remember what it's called. I don't remember half my videos. As soon as I upload them, I'm like, all right, that's done. Move on to the next one.
Oh, I think you said, what is this? Yes, new mature stop motion film. So if you guys want to check it out, it's on Infinite Repeats channel. No, I watched the video and I was like oh my, I didn't even know this was a thing. And you recently saw the movie, so it was. What would you rate it? I'm so sorry.
What did I give that? I think I put on letterboxd like, I want to say it's like a decent like 3.5 out of 5. It's
Just
not
like a decent time.
It's not like super scary, but like it has some good themes in it. Like if you
I
were
was
like,
just so intrigued by like the concept of it. I think that's so cool.
I mean the main character is like, she's a stop motion artist. It's mostly just like if you're like ever been addicted to your work, like just constantly just getting that grind and trying to be creative. It's very much like that. It's kind of like it's not a movie, Black Swan. Is that movie called? It's very much like that. Yeah, it's like that, but with a stop motion artist instead of a ballet dancer.
Mm. Mm.
I'm all for that.
I definitely need to see it again, because it gets really trippy, and I don't think I understood it. But have you ever heard of the movie? It's on Amazon Prime. It's Amazon original. Have you ever heard of Nocturne? Either of you?
I have not.
It's it's an Amazon original. Like they have a few of those. It's another movie that's very much like Black Swan. It's about a pianist, and she's going to like this fancy school, and she's not trying to be the. She has a twin sister who's like way better than her. It's super trippy. I highly recommend it. Like the ending is like, it's super good. Like,
oh, and it's starring.
Oh yeah, Sydney Sweeney, right?
Sydney Sweeney.
It's highly recommend.
That sounds so cool to me. I love thrillers and mysteries, if it even like kind of revolves around that. But I mean, it kind of sounds like it does. Just something that kind of messes with your head.
Yeah. That's another movie I need to watch again, because I definitely did not understand it.
It's funny that you had mentioned Sonic, Nick, because when the first one came out in theaters, I saw the movie 3 times, because the first 2 times I saw it, I fell asleep, and I just.
Oh my god!
It's not even that I hated it. I was like excited to see the movie. It was during like soccer season in my high school, and I'm incredibly out of shape. So it's like every day. The second I like sat down, I was like, I gotta go to sleep. I'm so tired.
Sonic wasn't motivating you?
Sonic was not making me go fast, man. It was making me go slow.
You woke up the second time during the movie and you're like, God dang, not again. No.
I know. I was like, did I really just pay for this ticket twice?
That's happened to me, to be honest. I mean, I saw the Thor movie. Was it Thor Love and Thunder?
Oh, I don't even.
I saw it twice only because my mom loves Chris Hemsworth, so I saw it again with her.
Don't we all, man?
When he makes good movies, I like him, but not.
I just, for me, I just felt like it was too much comedy.
Yeah.
It was like nothing is serious.
Yeah. That's probably the worst Marvel movie I've seen recently.
Thank you. All right, I agree 100%. I was very sad on how they handled it. The cancer thing, most of all.
I read the comics for Thor, and
wait, the new Thor, the
yeah,
one Thor,
Jane,
or no?
Jane Foster Thor.
Okay, then you might understand where I'm coming from. I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to give kids with cancer like a hero to look up to. You know, like one that shaves her head, one that like. So you know exactly, like, oh my god, I was trying to show my friend how, like, amazing it is. The transformation, like, when she's getting chemo to when she's not, it's...
I don't understand why they mixed her story with gore. Because I'm like, they have nothing to do with one another.
Yes! And it's like, dude, Gore was so menacing in the comics. They had to bring 3 different Thors and, like, from 3 different timelines.
That was the first... Thor comic, like I read the whole thing. I was like, dude, this is gonna be awesome when they do it in the movies, and then they messed it up. I was like,
I'm telling you, the announcements, no one was more excited than, like, I guess me and you, Nate, because I was like, oh, I loved Thor.
You could have done 3 movies with Natalie Portman as female Thor, like.
Oh my god, calm thy tits, she said to Iron Man or War Machine. Yeah, dude. It's upsetting. And Shoogy Shoe's like, yeah, dude.
But Shoogy, his favorite movie is the Flash. He loves the Flash movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know.
No, nothing wrong with that. I like that movie too. I mean, I think
I remember the first time I followed you on letterboxd, Shoogy. I saw your Flash. I was like, oh, he likes that movie.
Oh god, man.
Unfollow.
Ever since I made the review for The Boy and the Heron, and I just got completely dunked on by everybody, I am like so afraid to say a controversial opinion, but I kept it in there. I powered through it.
Do you guys have accounts on Letterboxd that you guys want to shout out? I don't know how it works, but I'm downloading Letterboxd right now on my phone, and the first thing I'm going to do is follow the both of you. So for me and the audience, what are your account names?
I got it. It's some form of Shoogy Shoe. Let me look it up.
Mine's just, it's literally just infinite repeat, but it's like one word.
Mine is just Shoogy Shoe, one word as well. You can see that I have a million list.
Yeah, what?
Do you see how many followers you guys have? You guys have big followers.
22, a big number, double digits.
All right, your mom one of them? That's what's.
No, my sister is, but she just made one.
Okay.
I tell everybody
get
to
23.
Get
yeah. That's what I do to. That's how I review movies when I'm too lazy to make a video.
That's exactly what I do. I make like 2-sentence reviews, and then I'm like, okay.
Well, you heard it first, guys. If you guys want more content, you just can't. You're foaming at the mouth for Nate and Cole. You're like, Shoogy Infinite. I need more movie reviews. Check out their letterboxes. Is there anything left you guys want to say on this podcast of ours? The Bayou 22.
I would like to plug my most recent video because it took a long time to make. Even though it's 3 months late, it's the top 10 best and worst movies of 2023. But I put too much effort into it. It took like 2 weeks to edit, and I should not have done that much. But please check it out if you're interested. I promise it's not just Oppenheimer #1. There's some crazy ones, like y'all heard. The Flash is on there. I mean, it's unpredictable, man.
It's unpredictable. The editing is full of references. It's It's quite something visually and audibly.
Someone said that the editing is very much fits like an ADHD person. So if you have ADHD, check it out, man.
I mean that's perfect for YouTube. Like I feel like people the TikTok culture, people have ADHD.
Yeah.
You know, got to make those videos interesting. The only thing I gotta say is watch Nocturne on Amazon Prime if you have it, because it's a really.
Hell yeah! No, I put it on my list. It's on my list.
Let me know what you did, or we'll talk about it next time because it's a.
And the stop motion.
Yeah,
movie.
I don't know if it's still in theaters because I actually had to. It's one of those movies that like goes away pretty quickly, but if it's still in theaters, that's a good movie too.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. One last thing I want to plug is brush your teeth before bed, kids. That's all.
Huzzah.
It's your dad's favorite podcast, the Bayou, a 22 boys, and this was the first episode. So thank you guys for tuning in. Check out our channels from whichever channel you're coming from. Check out the other ones, guys. You might like it. Who knows? Your dad likes it. That's what matters. So other than that, guys,
personally.
Enjoy the show. Watch Nocturne. Watch the top 10 lists of movies. Top 20, who cares? Do your homework. And that's it. Good night. Bye-bye.